You know that feeling when you're stuck in a loop, solving the exact same frustrating problem over and over and over again? Well, today, we're going to break that cycle. We're diving into a really simple but incredibly powerful tool that's designed to find the real source of those issues that just won't go away.
Right? We've all been there. You put a quick fix on something, you patch up an issue, and for a second you think, yes, it's solved, but then it's back. That's because most of the time, we're just treating the symptoms, the part of the problem we can actually see. The real culprit, the actual root cause, is hiding just beneath the surface. But what if there was a map to find that hidden source? Well, there is. Meet the hero of our story today, the Fishbone Diagram. Think of it as a visual guide, one that's designed to lead us right past all those annoying symptoms and straight to the root of whatever problem we're facing. So what exactly is this thing? It was actually developed way back in the 1960s by a quality control pioneer named Karu Ishikawa. At its heart, the Fishbone Diagram is a visual brainstorming tool. It's all about helping teams stop guessing and start systematically organizing their search for the true underlying causes of an issue. And listen, this isn't just some dusty academic tool. It's a cornerstone of major quality management systems used by huge companies all over the world. We're talking about heavy hitters like Six Sigma, which is all about eliminating defects and lean manufacturing. The best of the best trust it because, well, it just works. Now, I know when you first look at it, it might seem a little complicated, a little busy, but I promise you, the way it's structured is actually incredibly simple and intuitive. So let's break down its parts together. It really just boils down to 4 key parts. You've got the head, that's where you write your problem. Then there's the spine, the main arrow pointing to it. Off of that, you have the major bones, which are your main categories for potential causes. And branching off of those are the smaller bones, where you list all the specific, detailed causes. See? Simple, right? All right, let's actually build one right now. Every single analysis starts with one thing, a clear, specific problem. That problem becomes the head of our fish. Then we draw a straight line pointing right to it, and that's the spine. This is our foundation. Okay, next up, we add the major bones. A great way to think of these is like the main filing cabinets for our investigation. They represent those big, high-level categories where all the potential causes might be hiding. This is how we bring some real structure to our brainstorming. And here's what makes this tool so incredibly versatile. If you've got a manufacturing problem, you might use standard categories like the 6 M's you see on the left. Things like people, methods, machines. But if you're in a service industry, you might use something like the 8 P's on the right, like policies and price. The key here is that you can totally customize these main bones to fit literally any problem you're trying to solve. All right, so you understand the structure. Now for the fun part. Let's walk through exactly how you can build your very own fishbone diagram, step by step. First things first, the foundation. Step 1 is, without a doubt, the most critical. You have to define your problem with absolute clarity. A vague problem like low sales is going to lead you absolutely nowhere. Be specific. Once you've got that locked in as the head, you draw your spine, and then add your major categories, those filing cabinets we were just talking about. Okay, now we get to the heart of the analysis, the real detective work. For each one of those major categories, you and your team brainstorm all the potential causes. And here's the magic trick. For every single cause you write down, you have to ask, why? And for whatever answer you get, you ask why again. This is a technique called the 5 whys, and it's how you build out those smaller and smaller bones, drilling down past the surface until you hit the real source. A beautiful diagram is great, but an analysis is totally useless without action. So in the final phase, you look at your completed diagram and search for recurring themes. Then, and this part is absolutely key, you validate those potential causes with actual data or observations. You don't just guess. Once you've confirmed them, you can finally assign concrete actions to fix the problem for good. Okay, theory is great, but what does this actually look like in practice? Let's take a really common and often very costly problem and see just how fast the fishbone diagram can untangle it. So let's take a super common and super expensive manufacturing problem, delayed product deliveries. That's our problem statement, nice and clear, so it goes right into the head of the fish. Okay, let's start brainstorming. Under the people category, the team might bring up things like insufficient training or maybe staff shortages causing fatigue. Then we look at methods. Maybe the workflow itself is just inefficient. Too many handoffs, creating bottlenecks.
See how quickly we're already generating a ton of potential causes?
Then we move over to machines. A really obvious cause could be frequent breakdowns, and if we ask why, we might find it's due to a lack of preventative maintenance. Under materials, the team might trace delays all the way back to their suppliers. And just like that, a really messy, complex problem is suddenly organized visually on a single page. So, what's the big takeaway here? The Fishbone Diagram gets your team talking and collaborating. It makes these tangled, complex problems easy to see and understand. And most importantly, it forces everyone to dig deeper than those obvious surface-level symptoms. It's basically a blueprint for finding real, lasting solutions. So now that you have this powerful tool in your back pocket, the only question left is, what's that one tangled, recurring problem in your work or even in your life that you could finally solve by getting to its true root cause?